Alright guys, in today's episode of our series, we'll be talking about HTML text formatting. Alright, and in our usual tradition, I'm just going to click on new file to create a new file, and I'll just call it 12 because this is the 12th episode or 12th tutorial video of this HTML series for complete beginners, and I'm just going to call it HTML text formatting like this. Pardon me, I can't spell. Don't mind me, I will sort my spelling issues very soon. Formatting.html, right? Like this. Okay. And as usual, I'm just going to hold down Shift+1, you get, and tap or click on Emmet abbreviation. This will generate a template for me to use. And I'm just going to rename this title and call it HTML text formatting. Say text formatting like this. And I'll just, pull learning HTML text formatting, Ctrl S. And I'm just going to close this other, last episode like this. Close this and I'll leave this. Right click on this and reveal in File Explorer. Double click on this and let's see what's going on. Now we have learning HTML text formatting. Okay. Alright guys. So what is HTML text formatting? Just like the name implies, it's used to arrange a text or format a text. Helps users to know the important parts of a web content easily. There are many elements for formatting text in HTML, and we'll cover quite a few of them because there are so many, so this tutorial won't be so long. And the first of which I have here is the bold. And how do we bold it? Now, you know what? I'm just going to first throw a comment as usual and say learning. And say, okay, instead, let me say elements for text formatting like this, text formatting like this. All right. And I'm just going to pick the first one and call it, the first one is bold. And how do you define a bold element? The bold element is now is defined by just pressing B or typing B on the keyboard, B like this, and you can see the Emmet abbreviation for it, right? So I'm just going to complete it. And whatever I type in between these tags, these opening and closing tags, it will definitely be bold. Now let's see. Let's call it this bolds a test. And I'll save Ctrl+S and let's see what's going to happen. Wow, you can see this is bold now, right? Now you can see it's used to format any element that goes in between these tags. It makes it what bold. Now the next one we have is Italicize, right? That's italics. Now I'm just going to type I. You get, now these names are intuitive. You can just from the word get the tags bold B, right? Italics I. So I'm just going to, just like we have in MS Word, right? The formatting there. So we just have the same thing here. You get. Now I'm just going to type I and it generates the tag for me, and whatever I type inside will be italicized, right? So I'm just going to say this italicize a test. All right, Ctrl S, come over and refresh, and what happened? You can see it italicize a test, right? Remember we talked about empty element, right? So I'm just going to introduce a empty element or an empty element, and which is going to be BR, right? Line break, and Ctrl+S, and let's see, it's going to push it to a new line now, right? Awesome. All right. So the next text formatting we have is there are many of them, but let me just throw in a line break here so I can have a line just below it. And the next one is U, which is for underline. So underline, what does underline do? Underline underlines the text. Yeah, basically. So I'll just say this underlines a text. Yeah, Ctrl+S, and I refresh. This underlines a text exactly. All right. And the next one I have here is code, and this will define a text as code, right? So I'm just going to type code like this and tap enter. It generates the opening and closing tag for me, and I'll say this. What am I doing? I'll say this defines a text as a code, and let's see what's going to happen. Ctrl+S, and when I go to my browser and I refresh, you can see this text now looks like a code, right? It looks like a code word. I don't want Copilot. And now let me just throw a line break on that so I can just separate this nicely, right? I'm just going to add another line break, And now the next text formatting we have, or the next element we have for text formatting in HTML is we have small. Now small will make a text look smaller, right? And I just have to write small like this, and whatever I type inside will look smaller. This makes a text appear smaller. Control plus S and come over, and you can see the size is relatively smaller than the previous ones we have, right? And now let's go to another element for text formatting, and I'm going to say EM, that's for emphasize. Let's see what that does. EM. Now I'm just going to say, now let me say this emphasizes a text. Don't mind me if I can't spell. And I'm just going to come over here, refresh, and you can see it's almost similar to, if you can notice, almost similar to that of the Italicize, right, or the italics. All right, guys. So now the next one we have, which will probably be the, okay, let me just take two more, and I have let me throw in a line break, and we have strong. This strong also acts as a bold too. You get it will make a text bolder. You get, so let me just say this makes a text strong, not the strong that you all know though, but like strong. You can see, you'll see it in a jiffy, and you can see it's almost the same thing as, you know, the bold, right? You can see same thing depending on the browser. And I'm just going to throw in the last one and call it let's say Q, and this one should enquote a text, and say this enquotes a text. All right, like this. See how I spelled it in quotes. What am I doing? I'm just going to say in quotes like this. In quotes. Sorry, I can't see my keyboard, and you can see this has put this text in a quote. So I don't have to, you know, explicitly define a quotation mark, right? I just have to just put in my word in between these Q tags, and it, you know, add the quotation marks to it, right? Okay, and let me just take one more, and I'll say, let me take the strike. I'm just going to throw in a break and say strike. Now, and what does the strike does, or what does the strike do? Now I'm just going to say S, and now say this is a striked test. I don't know why I'm spelling test like this. And let's see what's going to happen. And now you can see this test is already what? Striked or struck, whatever it is. Just pick the one that suits you. All right, guys, you can see we've talked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've talked about 9 of them, and you can explore the rest yourself. But these are the basics that you will definitely need in your HTML learning journey. And you can see this will save you a lot of time trying to you know, throw in some CSS and styling and the rest like that. And this is all for today, guys. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and remain blessed. Bye, guys.